Guys, we're live, we're live.
Travis, you get my text?
No, I'm commenting on my Instagram.
You left me on red?
I left you on red.
On red or on red?
On red.
You left me on red. Why'd you leave me on red? I'll just, you know what? I'll text you about it. I'll text you about it instead.
Can you guess what the theme for the month of June is? Can you guess? It is something that so many people are so awful at nowadays that if you just improve this one thing, you'll have a leg up on the entire competition. Whether it's like to get the starting spot on the team, to get the job that you want, the internship that you want. If you're a student athlete watching this, or if you're an adult watching this, this is like the one thing that if you start improving on it, just improving on this, like laser focusing on it, your life is gonna get better. Your relationships are gonna get better. You will play more. You will get the job that you want, the internship you want. Can you guess what it is? Communication. Communication is our theme for the month, and it's something that no one is really talking about, no one is focusing on it. But when you focus on your communication and improving the different aspects, the 4 different aspects of communication that we're gonna talk on this month, everything gets better. Everything. What's your take on communication, Travis? Is communication as important as we're talking about it is?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I was sitting there and I put my phone down and he stayed there kind of like, it made me feel uncomfortable. It had to be uncomfortable to watch it. I mean, I feel like it was getting tense. We've been talking to a lot of athletes and they're coming back from college, they're coming in from out of season, or in season, they're coming back in from playing in season. And a lot of problems that they had throughout their season, whether it was with teammates, whether it was with coaches, whether it's with their family when they got busy, could have all been a non-factor if they would have just communicated more efficiently. So this is going to be a game changer for whether you want to be an athlete or an athlete, or you want to get that job like you said.
I had a situation with a family member of mine last week where there was a miscommunication through text that led to one of us firing back a very rude and abrasive comment, and that person was left very offended, and then the other person picked up the phone and called the other person and basically said, hey, did you read this the wrong way? This is what I was trying to say. And guess what happened? The other person, I know I just don't want to throw the person on the bus, it could have been me that was in the wrong, it could have been me, was basically like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I can't believe I said that back to you. I didn't realize that that's what you were saying. This is one of the topics we're going to cover in this month's motivational message theme of communication. Never try to send a 3D message through a 2D communication channel. We're going to dive deep into that. I'm sure you know what I mean, but we'll share a couple more stories about when we've done that and how it's resulted in massive, massive chaos and anger and frustration. Like, if you think about it, I would say anyone under the age of 18 right now is sending their most important, meaningful messages through Snapchatting and texting. And not only does that damage the relationship and it causes like people who don't know what the other person was trying to say, but Snapchatting and texting make you dumber when you try to talk to people. Like, you really, like, the more you text and Snapchat for communication, the worse at communicating face-to-face you become. It's just like, I think it's a science. I don't know if it's a science or not.
It has to be.
It's gotta be a science.
There has to be a science out there.
But it's true, you guys all know that. It's common sense. The more we do this to talk, the worse we are at doing this. And so, but the one thing that'll never go out of style is having to communicate your worth, your desires and your wants, or your feelings, emotions, and frustrations with other human beings through verbal communication. We all know that. That's never gonna go out of style. No matter how much Snapchatting takes over the world, texting, you will always, if you wanna be great at anything, if you wanna get the stuff that you want out of life, the internships, the jobs, the not the grades.
I mean, it would help your grades if you have a better relationship with your teacher, absolutely.
But if you want to do better at those things, then you gotta improve the way you communicate face to face. Like Brian's right over there on the other side of the camera right now, and he's giving me some nonverbal communication, some smiling, some nodding, and I know what he's trying to say because he's being intentional about his communication. We gotta be more intentional about the way we use our body language.
Absolutely.
our eye contact, our posture, because what does this communicate to you? I'm not confident, I'm not sure of myself, I'm uncertain. And did you know that when somebody looks down to the right or down to the left, it shows that they're not sure and they're uncertain about themselves and they're unconfident? That's science. So communication, 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 everybody talks about it, but what are you actually doing to improve on it? Like if I were to ask you the question right now, what are you doing to improve on your communication? Aside from watching this Facebook Live, what are you doing?
Probably not a whole lot. Not a whole lot at all. And I know when I was growing up, my mom would be like, give your grandmother a call. Or give so-and-so a call. And I dreaded the phone call. I just wanted to send a text and get back to whatever I was doing. And it really damaged my ability to articulate my thoughts in a conversation.
Yeah.
So my challenge, if any athletes are watching this, when your mom or your dad says to call somebody, don't send a text, give them a call, and get that skill going. I mean, it's something I wish I would have started paying attention to earlier. Like Andrew said, you guys are going to get a leg up on a lot of people if you start working on this at a younger age.
Yeah, I mean, imagine going into Chick-fil-A to drop off your job application. Great place to work, great chicken, great fries. And you drop off your job application, and so did 150 other people that day, honestly. But when you drop it off, you walk straight up to the GM, and you look at him in the eyes, and you shake his hand, and you say, I would love to be part of your team. Can you tell me what you're looking for most in a team member right now? Well, you just put yourself in a category of one, because all the other 149 people, they dropped it off and then they darted out of there as fast as they could because they weren't good communicators. So at any point in time throughout this week, if you want to just come in and sit in on one of these motivational messages that we do here in PFP and then leave afterwards, that's fine. But if you want to bring your kid in to get some high-level, high-performance communication techniques and tactics that they can use that are going to help them become more confident, successful leaders on and off the field, that's what we're doing this week. All week long, actually all month long. So if your kid needs some communication work, which I know you're probably sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, yes they do. Oh my gosh, yes they do. Absolutely, oh my gosh, yes they do. Then bring them in, because that's really what we're talking about this week. For the first like 10 minutes of our workout sessions, because it's that important. One more story. We had a kid, Austin. He came in last year when we gave this motivational message, and he listened to the message, okay? 2 months later, listen to this, it's so cool. 2 months later, he walks into PFP, and he comes right up to me and looks me in my eyes like he was staring through my soul, and he puts his hand out. Hey, Coach Andrew, it's great to see you. And honestly, this was a little excessive. We need to teach him how to not stare through somebody's soul like they feel like you're like, yeah, we gotta probably balance that out a little bit. But I looked at him, I was like, dude, that was awesome. Like, have you always done that? He goes, no, remember that message you guys gave 2 months ago? It was about eye contact and a good handshake. And I've just been focusing on it. And it's making a difference in my confidence.
Whoa.
Whoa was right.
Change that kid's
Whoa
life.
was right.
Change that kid's life.
Yeah, more than a bicep curl, even though bicep curls definitely will make your biceps stronger. But I'm telling you, communication is going to help you get on that field more. Communication is going to help you get that job. Communication is going to help you get that girlfriend or boyfriend that you really want. I'm telling you, communication is going to get you out of speeding tickets. It's going to change your life.
I mean, it'll be a game changer. And at the end of the day, you play sports to prep you for life. I say it almost every week. You got to communicate with teammates in good times and bad times. Coaches, that's going to be a future boss one day, in good times and bad times. So you learn it here and you learn how to apply it in life. But man, take this over to the field, and this is the one trait that all good leaders will have. And if you want to be a team captain, this will get you that spot. And trust me, those coaches that are showing up to your showcases, they're looking for this. So when you guys are on the field, try to watch how you're communicating with your teammates, not just in play, but when you're in that dugout or you're on the bench. How are you communicating there? Because coaches watch that stuff.
Travis, I really love doing these Facebook Lives with you. And I could just text you after this and be like, I love it, but I really want to just look you in the eyes through your soul and tell you I love doing these with you, man. That was some good communication right there. Guys, check us out next week. We're going to be talking about this again. If you need to get your kid in, give us a call, and we'll hook you up so that they can listen to this motivational message in person. Peace. Have a great Tuesday.